These are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, it is Harlan here, and we're gonna give people like another moment or two, not a lot, to let people go on because this is one of the most subscribed webinars that I've had in recent times. Literally hundreds and hundreds of people have wanted to be here, and it's in no part to the fact that the emails that I've done. And you're going to hear more about this, but what we're going to be talking about tonight is something that I'm personally doing. So when I was approached by my guest, it it took me all of 30 seconds to say we should do this because, quite frankly, with me doing it myself, it didn't seem fair not to share it with you. And I guess the biggest testimonial that I can give is that this is something that I'm doing. This is something that I'm doing for products. I think it is the greatest thing next to sliced bread. In my case, it has to be gluten free, but it's something that really has a tremendous amount of appeal. So we've waited the necessary 2 minutes, and more people are still pouring on here. Um, so let me tell you that years and years ago, I was invited to an event in Chicago. It was called the Green Room. The Green Room is where, you know, when people go on television, the green room is where they stay before they go live. And I, at the green room, and gosh, I knew a teeny tiny fraction of the people in the green room. I could hardly believe the names that were around me. And then there was someone whispered to me, and they said, "That's Dan Hollings." And I said, "Who?" And they said, "He's the guy who marketed The Secret." And I went, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "This is the guy who was behind the entire campaign for the movie The Secret." And like my eyes rolled in my head. And I went over and spent some time talking to Dan. And over the course of time, we've been in touch here and there. And Dan reached out to me recently um, with an idea. To me, it came from left field, but it made so much sense. I thought about it for about 40 seconds before saying, hell yes. And I've been working with Dan and his team, and Dan suggested this webinar to me, and it was like, okay, we've got to do this because this is literally right now. You guys are seeing, and I've written about this, that there are a lot of people who are being tempted by an Amazon program that's out there right now. Just by a show of hands, how many people have bought that super expensive Amazon program? You know the one I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention by name, but how many people here have bought that super expensive Amazon program? Okay, one person, another person, another person, another person. Okay, so okay, we've got like, okay, a lot of people, lot of people. Okay, so now of the people who said yes, how many people have made, I know one person, how many people have made a substantial amount of money from it? How many people have made a substantial amount of money. I'm getting nopes. Okay, so I know one person who I suspected. And by the way, my friend who said me, I am going to answer your email and we'll talk next week on Skype. One person said no, and we're way in the hole financially. No, not yet. No. Nope. Surprised that I say that only 1% are successful, giving the success testimonials given by them. I've made not one penny. No, I did not. So there are people that I know and respect, seriously respect, both as marketers and as friends, who have lost a lot of money. And I'm not going to mention your names, but I know there are many, many more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm still going to be here. I'm going to turn this over to Dan, and he's going to be, Paul says, inventory and product setup very difficult. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Dan, and I assure you that what he's going to share with you is going to make your head spin. In the email, I said you may not be able to sleep after this. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to be here listening. But folks, you have got to hear this. So is that your Skype or my Skype?
I think it's mine. I got to turn that off.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. There we go.
All right. Back to you. And there we go.
Okay, and I appreciate that, Harlan. The funny part of the story that Harlan didn't tell you is that in this green room, it was so dark that unless you had a flashlight, you could hardly see anybody's face. And so I met a lot of people there. And then later they'd call me up and they'd say, oh, I met you at the green room. Now I'm thinking, gosh, I don't know what anybody looked like. I talked to a lot of people. And certainly Harlan was one of those. I don't know if you remember that, but it was so funny.
It was dark.
What we're going to talk about is exciting, and to show you how exciting it is, let me make a statement that should impress you. I don't do anything but this. I have done it all, and yes, I am the guy that did the marketing behind the mega hit movie and book The Secret, but I've got a lot of options on the table, and this is all that I do, and there's one reason. When I compare it to everything else that I could do, this brings in the most money for the least amount of effort. I'm not saying it's a walk in the park. I'm not saying you're going to sit on the couch and get rich. But as compared to everything else that you can do, this seems to be the easiest way in which to make a substantial amount of long-term recurring income. And it's a lot like just having money fall from the sky. So that's what we're going to talk about. And yes, there is a program at the end of this presentation. You can spend a little money and get involved in it heavily. But I'm going to show you everything you need to know tonight so that if you want, you don't have to spend any money at all. You can take exactly what I'm going to show you how to do and get out into the marketplace and do this and actually make it work. I have a lot to cover. I'm going to open it up for a few questions at the end, so make sure you keep those handy. Let's just jump into this. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is Amazon itself, because most people think they know what Amazon is all about, but it's really a lot more amazing than your likely assumptions. First of all, Amazon adds 30 million customers or more almost every year. This is a press release talking about a recent year, 30 million customers in a year. The significance of that is kind of a theory that I always practice by. It's like if you're going to go fishing, wouldn't it make sense to fish in the fishing hole that has the most fish? So it's a lot better to fish for customers in a well-stocked Amazon pond that has 30 million customers, and I'm talking about 30 million a year, than it would be for you to go and build all of this yourself and try to find your own customers and do all of that. So that's one reason I really like playing the Amazon game. The second thing that's fascinating is that Amazon has a Prime program. You are probably a part of it, so I don't have to explain it. But if you're not, this is where people pay roughly $100 a year so that they can get free shipping and some other benefits. Well, guess what? There are 50 million members that are a part of that. What that means is that if you've got a product on Amazon, there are 50 million people that are very strong candidates to buy your product because they trust Amazon. Amazon's got their credit card on file. Amazon's going to give them free shipping. And some of these people, in fact millions of them, they don't buy anywhere but Amazon. And they are not bargain hunters. They will actually pay premium prices if you have a product up on Amazon. Next, look at this. This amazes me. Yahoo Finance states that Amazon sellers sold a record-setting more than 2 billion items worldwide. A lot of people don't realize that when they buy a product at Amazon, usually you're just buying from a mom-and-pop entrepreneur, somebody like you or me. In other words, these are not Amazon's products. Over 2 billion items that are on Amazon are actually sold by people like you and me. That's an amazing number. Look at this. Amazon is now worth more than Walmart. Took quite a while because Walmart really brings in a lot of money. We're talking about Walmart brick and mortar stores as well as their online business. Amazon now is the king of the universe when it comes to e-commerce shopping carts. And then finally, and this is the one that should make you really sit up on the edge of your chair. This is in U.S. News and World Reports talking about 5 ways that you could become a self-made millionaire. They state, clear as it can be, you can see it right there, Amazon is one of the 5 best ways there are for you to become a self-made millionaire. So you take all of this, and it really adds up to one thing. You should get involved in some way with doing business with Amazon. They've got the customers, they've got the credibility, and it's an easy way to make a lot of money. So the question is how do you do it? Now, I'm going to show you something that when you first see it, you're going to say, that could not be, that could not happen. But in reality, and this will become apparent as I move forward, what I'm about to show you happens every day. It's very easy. I hate to say this, but it's a lot like falling off a log. In fact, it's easier than falling off a log. Let's imagine that someone came up and knocked on your door. In other words, an opportunity just fell in your lap, and it looked something like this. Now, you're not going to believe it, but just suspend, any doubt for a moment. Let's say that that person that knocked on your door said, "Hey, I've got a great product, and I'd like for you to help me sell it. And so that you can sell it, I'm going to give you a bucket of money because I know you're going to need to pay for things, ads and incidentals and things of that nature. So here's some money to get you going. And so that you feel comfortable that you can really run with this, I'm going to give you an exclusive. I'm going to give you an exclusive for selling this product on Amazon so that no one else in the world can sell it other than you. And also, I recognize that you're going to need certain tools, maybe autoresponders and different things in order to help you sell my product. So I will cover the cost of all of the tools that you need. And so that you can get things going, it's always the case when a product just gets launched that you have to give away samples and demos. Companies have been doing this for years at trade shows and online and everywhere. But I'm going to let you have 200, 300, 400 products so that you could give these away or discount them, whatever you want, to help get the juices flowing on the promotion of my product. And in addition, so that you can sleep well at night, I'm going to take away all the risk. In other words, nothing can possibly go wrong here that will ever affect you financially. All the risk is mine. You will do this risk-free. In addition, we all know how important it is to have good, honest reviews, at Amazon especially. So I will help to get the reviews that you're going to need for this product that we're selling. And then guess what? I actually have a database. I've been in business for a while. I've got a customer database, an opt-in database, and in order to help get things going, I'm happy to do some mailings out to my list so that we can really sell a lot of product. And I'm going to give you a slice of the pie. And if this analogy doesn't ring with you, this one will. I will pay you a chunk of money every month as these products start to sell. Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Dan. You're right. What you just told me seems really fantastical. I mean, who's going to hand over their product and money and all of this stuff in order for you to sell their product for them and then pay you a chunk of the profits that come in? Well, the reality is that most vendors will do this. Most people that have a product will do this. It only makes sense for them to do it. It's all I do. I literally have over 21 clients myself where I do this for them, and many of these are multi-million-dollar accounts. This will become real clear as I go forward, but I want to first stress a quote that I absolutely love. It's by Richard Branson, and he said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure that you can do it, say yes. Say yes and then learn how to do it later. That's what I want you to do, because I'm going to show you an opportunity here that you can do it. It takes a few skills. I teach those skills. It's nothing that anybody on this call couldn't do. But you really have to suspend all doubt and say yes to something so that you can learn how to do it, and you'll do it not too far later. In fact, we're going to actually go and learn how to do it right now.
Dan?
Yeah.
What are your expectations of how much you're going to make from my account in the next 12 months? Quick guess.
Quick guess? I mean, just my share alone, probably $10,000 a month.
$10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people here would be interested in learning how to make $10,000 a month risk-free? Just a quick show of hands. Okay, we got just a few me's. Okay, this is honest. Okay, he is going to make, his expectations are $10,000 a month. And then how much am I going to make?
You'll make around 30,000.
I'll make around 30. I'll make 30. So if I make 30, do you know how happy I am to give him 10? Okay, thrilled, because I don't have to do a thing. This is real. This is real, and we are doing it. So, back to you, Dan.
Okay, and I'm going to show you some actual statistics and numbers to support what I just said. None of this is fluff. This is as real of a business as it gets. So, what if you could sell millions on Amazon, but you did it without ever investing a dime in inventory? You see, I know you've heard the stories out there, and there are other courses out there that will, make people rich. Yeah, it does make a few rich, but by and large, the majority fail. And if you fail, it's pretty bad, because you can spend all this money on inventory and on courses and stuff, and there's really no way to recoup that. It can be a pretty bad situation. But here's the catch. In fact, here's the dirty little secret that you often don't hear about. Even if you're successful, it can sometimes not work out. Let me show you what happens. The number one reason that Amazon product sellers can grow really fast and yet still not be successful is because it takes a lot of capital in order to keep it going. Let's say, for example, that you invested in some inventory, say $3,000 in just some startup inventory, and you put it up on Amazon and you sold $6,000. Now, you'd be pretty happy. Amazon takes their share, which is around 21%. You would end up with roughly $5,000 cash. But you don't get to spend it because the product is selling and you need some more inventory. So you take your $5,000, and instead of putting it in your pocket, you have to order some more inventory. Maybe it's coming from China or wherever, and you sell it. It sells on Amazon. You bring in $10,000, and again, you think it's time to break out the champagne. Amazon takes their share. You're left with $8,000, and you can't spend a penny of it. You have to go and invest more money. If you've ever seen the Shark Tank, I'm going to talk more about that more later, but if you've ever seen the Shark Tank, the main reason that people come on that program is because they don't have the capital to fill invoices. They don't have the capital to get more inventory, and they need help. That happens on Amazon as well. So if you jump into Amazon and it doesn't work, you're just going to lose money and you'll end up with dead inventory. But if it does work, you got another problem, and that is that you need to be capitalized enough to be able to continue to fund the inventory until you can actually take some profits. So this particular dirty little secret can leave you flat broke. It won't happen if you do it the way I do it. Now, I'm going to backtrack and go real fast over this. Harlan shared with you a little bit about my background, but I think it's important for you to know that, I've been around the block, and I've done a lot of, big campaigns, little campaigns, and everything in between. A couple of things here. And this is just so you can believe what I'm talking about. I did do the marketing for one of the biggest mega hit movies and books, ever to go out, and I did that. Also, I worked with J. Conrad Levison, the guy who started the whole guerrilla marketing movement. In fact, he recently died, but I actually was involved in the last book that he wrote, consultant on that, wrote a chapter in there on mobile marketing. There's another guy, Steve Olsher, wrote a book about the top 25 leading experts in the world. I don't know how I ended up in there, but he felt I should be. And I'm there. I got a whole chapter about marketing. You can get that book on Amazon. I'm also one of the top teachers over at Udemy, which is a big educational platform. I have literally 40,000 students who've been through my various programs there. So I've been around the block. And if you look at what I did with The Secret, here's a chart from Alexa that shows that campaign. And to explain what you're looking at, the blue lines, that's when we first launched the, just the initial landing page and kind of the pre-launch, and then the red chart there, that's when the product actually went live. Well, what this is literally the biggest mover and shaker. At that point in time, it was the biggest thing happening on the internet. In fact, U.S. News or ABC News actually stated that the campaign behind The Secret is going to go down in history as the greatest case study of viral marketing ever done anywhere. But they were wrong. It really was the greatest case study of Amazon marketing because, yeah, we sold around $40 million worth of that product or that movie off of the website, but then we started marketing it on Amazon. But here's the little part of the story that you wouldn't know unless I told you. It wasn't my client that put this product on Amazon. My client didn't want to sell on Amazon. They had their reasons. But I, working with a partner, had access to the movie. We were buying these movies in cases of 10,000 each, and me and my partner were putting the movies up ourselves. Just like what I'm doing today. We were putting it up there. In fact, when Steve Jobs walked out on the stage the very first time, they were rolling out the iPhone. And I remember he pulled it out and he said, hey, let's go shopping and let's do it on our smartphone. No one had ever done that on a phone before, and here he was on the stage and he says, let's go to Amazon. And when he pulled it up, and there's a screenshot of what he pulled up, The Secret DVD was right there. Literally, me and a partner working from our basement had pushed this product up to be the #3 bestseller in all of Amazon. It later hit #1, and that's really where I began to learn all of this stuff. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. In fact, at the same time the movie was out, I have a music degree as a background. I wrote some music, I put it up on Amazon, and that became a top seller as well. So when Richard Branson says, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure you can do it, then say yes and just learn how to do it later. Well, gosh, do you think he really means next year or even next month? No. Do it now. So let's start. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to show you through a story. I'm going to tell you a story. It's really interesting, very true. Here's what happened to me. I was watching Shark Tank one night, and this guy comes walking out, and I'm thinking, what's he selling? You know how the show works. And he starts talking about the craziest product of all, and I couldn't even believe it, but they were these little sponges, and they had a happy face on the sponge, and I guess the idea was you could stick a spoon in the sponge's mouth and clean the spoon, and to me, I said, this is just the biggest loser I've ever seen, and I didn't think much of it. I almost turned it off and didn't think about it ever again until about 6 months later. He came back on again. You know how they do the updates, and I found out that of all the people that had ever been on the Shark Tank, that this product, these goofy little sponges, had made more money for the sharks than any other product that they'd ever had on the program up to that point in time. And so I started scratching my head, and I'm going, you've got to be kidding. So I'm going to show you what I did, but before I show you, let me explain a fact to you. The fact is that most sellers that are currently on Amazon are failing miserably. In fact, I know the logo at Amazon says Amazon.com and you're done, but it really could be Amazon and you're done for, because it doesn't work for the majority, and that's because you have to know what you're doing, and most product owners, most Amazon sellers do not. So, knowing that, I headed over to Amazon and I started looking at sponges. I typed in sponges, I did a search, and I'm kind of scrolling through all these sponges. I'm looking at SOS pads and Scotch-Brite and all of that kind of stuff. And, it seems silly, but I felt like I was at the grocery store, and here I was getting all hot and excited about sponges. But I had this little tool, and I pulled it up to see how much revenue was coming in from these sponges. And you're looking at the numbers right here on the screen. You'll see that there's a column that tells you the number of sales that occur, and these are monthly sales, and also the estimated monthly revenue. And so I'm looking at these numbers and I'm saying, wow, this Scotch-Brite sponge, it's bringing in $41,595 a month. And then there's another one that's bringing in $11,000, another's bringing in $16,000. This is a month. Even on the low end, they're bringing in, $3,500 a month. And I'm thinking, boy, if I could just get a sponge and get it on this page, then I would be making somewhere between $3,500 and $41,000 a month. That's how much revenue would be coming in. And I'm thinking, well, that doesn't seem too hard. When you do a search at Amazon, 16 products come up on the first page, and they're all making a lot of money. I just need a sponge. So I stay at Amazon, and I start looking for people selling sponges. But I'm not looking for people who are doing well selling sponges. I'm looking for somebody that's got a good sponge but doesn't seem to know what they're doing. In other words, they're failing. And my whole thought is, well, if I can find a good sponge and somebody is trying to sell it and it's not working, I can reach out. I can throw them a lifeline and say, hey, why don't you let me jump in the driver's seat, and I'll try to get your sponge up on the first page so that we can make somewhere between $3,500 and $40,000 a month. What do you say? That's my thought. So I find this sponge. You're looking at the sponge. And by the way, this particular sponge and company is now a client of mine. All right? I'm going to show you exactly how I found them. I'm looking around, I find the sponge, and I say, first of all, the picture looks awful. I mean, it looks like it was run over by a steam shovel or something. It's flat, it's ugly. Who's going to buy an old brown sponge in a cellophane pack that looks like this? I said, I bet I could, get a better picture, whether I take it or I outsource it to some really good photographer. I'm sure I could do better than what I'm looking at. Then I took a look at the title. The title says Pura Natural. I can't even read it because it's like it doesn't. I don't know, maybe they're misspelling stuff. A scrubber 3-pack household sponge. And I'm thinking, if I went to Amazon and was looking for a kitchen sponge and I saw that title, it wouldn't get me excited. I'd probably just move right along. So, I figure I could probably write a better title than they had done. I already told you about the picture, but guess what? Amazon lets you put up 6, 7, or 8 pictures, and this company didn't even bother. They only have one picture, that's it, and I'm thinking, gosh, I could take a few extra pictures and show some people smiling and washing their dishes and, whatever. Anything's better than what they've done. Then I took a look at the bullet points. Folks, could you write, 4 or 5 bullet points better than this? I mean, they're like 2-word bullet points. Amazon will let you write, 200 or 300 words if you want, but this company was so lazy or so, misinformed that they didn't bother. Look at the bullet points. Ultra absorbent, plant-based, all new, and contains Be Better foam. There's nothing exciting about that. And I still can't figure out why you would put a bullet point that says all new. I mean, did they really think that somebody's selling old sponges on Amazon and they had to clarify that theirs was new? I mean, it's just bad. I scrolled on down and I took a look at the description. Now, this description, bless their hearts, they couldn't even figure out how to type a capital letter. All little letters in the whole chunk of text that we have here. They don't know how to do a paragraph break. The idea of bolding a word here and there just didn't dawn on them. It really reads like an old Wikipedia listing. I'm going to read just a little bit of it, and I'll stop because it's that bad. Pure and natural products are made from Be Better foam, which was created by advanced innovative recovery technology, AirTech. AirTech was created in response to the British petroleum oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico in 2020. And can you see what I'm saying? Is this the kind of copy that would make a person want to buy a sponge? Again, person's at home, they're thinking, gosh, my sponge is starting to stink. I'm going to go to Amazon and buy some new ones. And now they're reading about the Gulf oil crisis and a bunch of AirTech stuff. They have no idea what it means. This is just really bad. Could you possibly write a better description? I mean, if you just, said, hey, these are great sponges and, they smell good, and that would be better than what they've written. So I realize there's an opportunity here. I can improve that.
My 2-year-old granddaughter could write better.
How true. Now, here are the results. There are 0 reviews. This product has been up on Amazon. At this point in time, it had been up for, I think, about 6, 7, 8 months. And yet they had yet to even, get 1 review. That's unbelievable. Their ranking was 111,601. I mean, that is so far down that nobody ever sees these products when they're ranked that low. So I knew right away that I had a product here that seemed to be a good product. I mean, it was an interesting technology. It was developed during the Gulf oil crisis. It absorbed oil and repelled water. I mean, and they had just made an in-home version of this. And I said, all I got to do is reach out and talk to these people. I could email them, I could call them on the phone, maybe Skype them, what have you. How did I find out who they were? Well, the name of the company's right there on the page. I just went to Google, did a search by the company name, found their website, and every website has contact information, and I just dropped them an email. I'm not big on the phone. I dropped them an email, and I said, hey, I saw your product over at Amazon. Doesn't look like it's doing too well. I was wondering if you want to chat. I think I could help you improve the ranking and bring in a lot more money. And oh, by the way, your competitors are doing somewhere between $3,500 and $40,000 a month. Give me a call. Well, didn't take but a day, and they contacted me and said, yeah, let's get on the phone and talk about it. And I am not kidding you, folks. I didn't know who these people were. They were a manufacturing company. I get on the phone with them. Within 10 minutes, they're like wanting to hand over the keys to the kingdom. Why? Because they're failing. They're getting 100% of nothing on Amazon, and I'm telling them I can improve this. I'm not guaranteeing them anything, but I can improve it. I can make more than nothing, and if I do that, would you pay me 25% of the money that Amazon sends you? That's what I get, 25% of whatever Amazon sends my client. They couldn't say yes any quicker. We put this thing up on Amazon, and the results were absolutely amazing. In fact, here is the listing. If you type in almost anything that has to do with sponges on Amazon, now this product comes up as the number 1 page listing. They did have 30 different kinds of sponges. I didn't mention that earlier. They had 30 different kinds of sponges on Amazon. You could buy 1 or 2, green, blue, square, leaf shape. You needed a PhD in sponges to know which one to buy. And I told them, look, you got to get rid of all these other sponges. Let's just sell, one sponge. We'll sell one sponge. Let's make it a 6-pack. We'll put one up that has soap infused in it and one that doesn't have soap, and that's it. Real simple. People can go and buy. Well, look at here. We are ranked on the first page for every important keyword that there is. I didn't do anything other than what I've already shown you folks. I improved the title, I improved the images, and look, here it is. You can take a look at what I did. Here's the title. It reads better. There's more information now. Pure Naturals, that's the company's name. Stink-free cleaning sponge. What everybody hates about sponges is the fact they stink. Well, these repel water so they don't ever stink because the bacteria can't grow in them. So that's what I talk about. They inhibit bacteria and yada, yada, yada. And then look at the bullet points. Instead of those little one-word bullet points, I explain more about the product. Now, how did I know about all of this stuff? I just asked them. It's my client. I'm not an expert on sponges, but I said, tell me all the stuff about your sponges. Let me see your literature, you know, let me look at your website. And I just put that together into better bullet points. And then I got some better pictures done. And if you can't do pictures, don't worry about it. Go to Elance, or in fact, what you really should do is go and find the best photographer you can, because the client pays for everything. The client will understand that you want to have the best pictures in the planet. So rather than some cheap old thing, tell them, look, I need to get a really good photographer. It's going to cost maybe $200 or $300, and we're going to have just killer photos. And they'll go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. They'll pay for it. You just facilitate it, make sure it happens, and there you go. So that's what it used to look like. And now you can see this picture. These sponges here are beautiful. They're laid out in a nice way. It's something that people see it, and they just want to buy it. So there it is. They also have the kind that has soap in it, and those are the only two choices. But look at this. I want you to look at the price. Have you ever seen a sponge more expensive than this? $17.50 for 6 sponges. These things are the most expensive sponges on Amazon. And how come? Because people at Amazon will pay premium prices. This company is selling between 20 to 30 sponges a day, every single day, whether I'm asleep or awake, or even right now as I talk to you. They are selling sponges, and I get 25% of the take, and it's never ending. And guess what?
Hold on, Dan. I just want to stop and ask you to repeat. People will pay more because it's on Amazon?
Amazingly, yes. And it's because they're prime shoppers. They're paying $100 a year to get the free shipping. They go to Amazon, they see something they like, they click the button, it's one-click checkout, and it comes, and they don't think as much about price. It's like the opposite of eBay. They just go, they find something they like, they click, and they buy it. And it amazes me. Across all of the clients that I work with, 100% of the products are, well, I call it premium priced, but in reality, they're overpriced. And so therefore, your client is real happy. You know that 25% they have to pay you? A lot of that is just in the extra that you get to charge at Amazon, because premium pricing works on many products. Maybe not all, but I'm going to show you how to find the kinds of products and the kinds of clients in which you can do this. It's a beautiful thing. So, can anybody do this? I know a lot of you are thinking, okay, Dan, you did The Secret, all of this and that and everything else. Well, yeah, that's true, but I have a lot of students. I started sharing what I was doing. I've been doing this now for 2 years. All right, I started sharing this about a year ago with a beta group of people and just teaching them, And, this is a guy here. His name's Nick. I'm not going to read. He wrote a big, long testimonial. I'm not going to read it all to you. But in essence, he had learned how to do Amazon from some expensive course that he took. It wasn't working for him. And then he went through my training. And literally, within a week of going through my training, he was out talking to people who have products, potential clients. He signed them up, and now he's overseeing 115,000 in retail inventory per month at Amazon. Raise your hand if you have $115,000 per month in inventory at Amazon. You don't. And here Nick does, and he's got zero money invested in it. And he goes on and on. I'm not even going to read it all, okay? But this is a guy that had tried Amazon himself. He took one of those courses out there. It didn't work out, but he had the skills. Instead of him trying to do it himself and take the risk and invest a lot of money and more inventory, he flipped over, started helping other people, and it worked. Okay, we'll talk about more people that did this later.
Now, I know Nick, just by the picture. I know who that is.
Oh, Nick's he's a great guy, but he went down the wrong road, and luckily you turned, and now it's working out really well. Now let me tell you about the deal that went bad, and I'm going to give you some real specific numbers here. This is a case study of another client. It has nothing to do with the sponges, all right? It's another client, and this deal went bad. But I want to share with you what happened before it went bad. First of all, they're a corporate client. I partnered with them in July, just this past July. I didn't invest any of my money. I never invest any of my money, okay? When I first met them, they were just selling, very few units. You can see the chart right here, okay? I forget, maybe 1 or 2 units a day is all they were selling. I partner up with them and start working and apply some strategies that I teach in my course. And literally, I was able to turn this around within 3 months, and they were selling 480 units of their product. The product sold for $54 retail. That brought in $25,920 a month. All right, now this took me 3 months to do. Amazon takes out 21%. Now Amazon provides the fulfillment, they provide the customer support, and they also provide the customers. So that 21% is money well spent by the client. That left my client $20,477 a month. I get 25%, so that means my take home is $5,119. What happened the next month? Well, like often happens at Amazon, more people start buying. They sell 600 units the next month, and they had dropped their price. They went down to $48 retail, but they sold 600 units. So let's look at the numbers here. Amazon sent them they sold 28,800 retail. Amazon took out their 21%. That meant that the check Amazon mailed my client was $22,752. 25% of that is mine, and people always want to know, how do you get paid? You just invoice your client like any consultant would. You're going to have access to all these numbers. You just go in, you look at the numbers, and you send your client an invoice, and they pay it. They paid me $5,688 that month. But, months move along, and the next month, 800 units sold. They're still selling them at $48. So that month, the top line retail revenue was $38,400, 21% for Amazon. That means my client gets a check for $30,336. I get 25%, and that month I make $7,584. But read the top of the slide. You probably forgot that this is the deal that went bad. So I want to show you what happens when a client either changes their mind or wants to pull out of the deal, or something goes south, all right? In this case, what went south is that this company decided to merge with another company, and during the process of merging, the new people that were on the board and running things decided that they didn't want to any longer honor the deal that we had. So they called me up and they said, and this is the original group I was working with, they called, Dan, we love you. I mean, the numbers you've been doing, this is just great, but this new team coming in, they don't get it, and we just decided it's best just to end the deal. And I said, no problem. And so I pulled out the agreement, and you get my agreement if you go through my program, but I pulled out my agreement, and there is an exit clause. The exit clause is simple. I'm going to tell you how it works. You could do this. Okay, you just say, hey, look, let's just average the past few months and figure out what you've been paying me. And in this case, they had been paying me roughly $7,000 every month for the past few months. And in the agreement, the exit clause says, look, If you ever want me out of the deal, then you just figure out what you've been paying me and you continue to pay me for another 12 months. This isn't crazy. This is like a buyout clause. The reason it's not crazy is because you tell your client, look, I jump in and I'm going to help you to improve your revenue. I'm not going to charge you a penny to do it. And if it starts working, I'm really not going to get paid until further down the road. So if you change your mind after a few months or even a year or whatever, then I just want to make sure that I continue to get paid for a year so that I can recoup all the effort or the money for the effort that I put into this in order to help you. And they go, ah, yeah, sure, we get it. So that's not a problem to get that in your agreement. I never do an agreement unless this clause is in there. So here's what happened. The deal went bad, and the company wrote me a check for $84,000. I wish I could have a deal go bad every month. It would be just great. So I know that money doesn't grow on trees, but it doesn't get any closer. Whether the deal is a good deal that keeps going or if it's a bad deal that they have to buy you out, there's a lot of money in this, and there's everybody involved. It's win-win. Even this company that paid me that $84,000, guess what? They're still on Amazon. They are still bringing in the same, if not more money than what I shared with you earlier. They're happy campers because before they started working with me, they were making nothing, which really kind of, if you tie this together, you realize why this is possible, why it's possible for you to do the same thing that I'm doing. These are clients. They're people who have products that want to sell the product. And Amazon is the biggest thing going, and they don't know how to make it work. So they will sometimes try, and it fails, or they just don't try, and they're not selling on Amazon at all. So they're getting 100% of nothing. And when you come in and you say, hey, look, if you just let me have an exclusive for Amazon, I'll go and set everything up, and I'll do what's necessary to move you up the ranks. And if we can get you up on the first page, you're going to be making, $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a month, something like your competitors are already making. And I know how to do that. Me, and I work with a group, and I have access to people who know, the things that need to be done. I'll do that for you. You can focus on other channels. Try to get your product in Target or Whole Foods or, someplace that you do all of that. I don't care. I'm going to focus on one thing, Amazon, and I'll just take 25% if it works. And they're thinking, what the heck? What have I got to lose? This person knows more about it than me. Have at it. And you're only going to do one product at a time. You don't take on 20 products and drive yourself crazy. You only do one product at a time. And one product, Harlan said it earlier. I'm working with Harlan now with one product. It has the potential to earn $30,000 to $40,000 a month. That's one single product. It's not like you have to have a whole catalog of things in order to start making some good money. If you do well with one product, guess what? That client probably has another one. So you just do the second one. I have many students that only have one client and they just have multiple products. This is better than any other Amazon strategy that's out there on the market. So the question is this. Do you think that you might like to help a few folks out? Because this is not sales. Make sure you heard me. This is not sales. You don't call somebody up and try to sell them something, because what you're offering is a lifeline, and what you're offering costs nothing. What you're doing is you're finding a product or a person that needs a little help, and you're throwing them a lifeline. Zig Ziglar said it best. You can have everything in life that you want if you'll just help other people get what they want. That's what I do. I'm going to help Harlan to bring in $40,000 a month. That's what my goal is with a single product. And if we can achieve that, I will get paid, Harlan will get paid, we're all happy, and we can move on and do 2, 3, 4, as many products as we want. And I'm doing that with many, many clients. And guess what? There are no other consultants out there in the marketplace. No one else is doing this unless they've heard about it from me. I'm the only person. This is as, what's the word, ground floor as you could possibly, have. If you contact a seller and say, hey, I'd like to help you with your product, they're not going to say, oh gosh, not another one of you. I've already talked to 52 people. They're going to go, really? I didn't even know there was anybody out there that could help me with this kind of stuff. Yeah, let's talk. What can you do? In fact, to make it easy, I do have a training program, but I went further than that. I know that talking to clients sometimes can, be a little bit challenging. I actually put together a Trello-based interactive cheat sheet. You can use it like a call script, where you can pull this thing up and make sure that everything that you need to cover with a potential client, that you've checked it off the list. Everything's right there. And if you forget to tell them something, don't worry about it. You just email them or have a second conversation. This is not like a big formal call up somebody and get through the secretary and to the top guy and try to close them. It's nothing like that. It's really people that just will appreciate what you're offering if they just knew that people like you existed. Once a client says yes, and you can get to a yes a lot quicker than you think, then you need to know how to onboard the product and go through all the steps and do what's called an Amazon product launch. I created a three-dimensional tool. You're just seeing a little video of it right now. But this is an interactive tool that you can access, and you can scroll back and forth through the timeline so that you know every single step, what you need to do, what your client needs to do, and what things you might want to outsource. It's all in this product launch tool that I put together. Also, you need to know how to rank a product on Amazon. And one of the things that a lot of these expensive courses try to tout is that they're going to show you how to rank your product at Amazon. Well, it's not as easy as you might think, but I've boiled it all down into one single page. Everything is on a single page that you need to know in order to help get your client's product ranked. And if you go through this process, you will unquestionably move your client's products up the rank. Now, will you always hit page one? No. But I'll tell you this, there is one thing that the client will bring to the table that is critically important, that is not available, not discussed, it's totally not there if you try to do this yourself through private label branding. And that one thing makes all the difference in ranking. So this missing ingredient that you need in order to make something rank on Amazon, every client you work with will have that. If you're private labeling and you're thinking, gosh, Dan, I put a product up and I tried to get it to rank and it wouldn't work. There's one thing missing, and that's why you're not ranking. That won't happen with this strategy, and I know I'm being a little evasive here, but you know what? That's one of the secrets that I reveal in my training program. This program is as robust as anything. I mean, I used to be a university teacher, and I'm also good at graphics and all that kind of stuff. I've got 300 plus slides so that you can listen to me talk about this. I show you step by step, but visually, this will also, it'll just, burn it in your brain so that you can do this. You can go at your own speed, and you get the agreement. The client agreement, the actual one that I use with all of my clients, I'm just going to hand it over to you. We go through this in the training so that you understand every clause. And this isn't an agreement that was written by a bunch of attorneys. This is an agreement that's written by me. So I'm not giving legal advice here. What I'm going to do is I go through and I show you this and I say, hey, look, this is the agreement I use. I recommend you consult with an attorney if you would like. But every single client that I have, all of the projects I'm doing, this is the agreement. It's more like a working blueprint, really, and I go through it line by line with my clients so that they understand, what you need to do, what I need to do, how the money's going to work, how the exit clause works, and all of that kind of stuff. Now, in big red letters, I know you see it there. It says this is not released until day 31 after joining. What it should say is that the Word document is not released until day 31. I release the actual, I go through it in the training word by word on day 1. I just hold back the document for one reason. I've got a bunch of cheaters and scammers out there who've been trying to steal my course and go sell it, on these freebie back alley sites. And so I have to hold back some things because what they do is they buy it, steal everything, and try to sell it. But what I want to tell you is that if you're committed to doing this program, I will help you. I am hands-on. We have a Facebook group, you'll see it in a second, and anything you need, I'll give it to you. If you need that contract because you have a client on the hook, you'll get it. I'm not going to hold it back, okay? So that's all that's about. Don't get all freaked out over that. Here are two examples of students that went through my program, and they kind of show the different ends of the spectrum. I've got Danny Moss on the left and Elaine on the right. Danny had a little bit of experience in Amazon. She'd gone through an expensive course and put a product up, couldn't get it to sell, and then lo and behold, she, within 1 week, landed a client, listen closely, this is amazing, in a major category who had $500,000 worth of inventory and had the exclusive on this product for the entire U.S. And she'd been trying to sell it, and she wasn't even on Amazon, and Danny bumped into her, chatted with her, and lo and behold. I mean, think about it. Could you, in any way, think of a way to get $500,000 of inventory in the warehouses of Amazon without spending a penny? I can't think of any other way, and yet Danny, she works at Trader Joe's. That's her job, all right? And I communicate with her regularly. She's just a champ. But that's what she stumbled upon within a few days of finishing my course. And then on the right we have Elaine. Elaine's had she's been hitting one home run after another. The first two clients that she landed, the first one, they were floundering, and literally within a couple of months they were bringing in $25,000 a month. And then she landed another one and got them up to about 30 or 40 sales literally within 2 weeks after putting them up on Amazon. Elaine had zero experience in Amazon. She had sold some books there, but never physical products or anything like that. Had never gone through any courses other than mine. That was it. So what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what your experience is. You can be successful in this. Danny did it, and also Elaine did it. And you know what? You could do it too. So who is this for? You might have limited business skills. Maybe you're a newbie, or maybe you've done a little marketing. You've got some internet marketing or social media skills, or maybe you've even gone through some Amazon things, and maybe you've got a product up or have some experience there. It really doesn't matter. In fact, I've had people in all categories do really well. But if you've got limited skills, then basically you can be assured that you'll start from scratch, and everything that you need to know will be made available so that you can do this program, okay? If you're still afraid that you don't have what it takes, I want to remind you that this program, it's called Amazo Partnering. It's about partnering and finding clients. And here's what I say. Don't give up. Instead, partner up. You can partner up with somebody who will bring to the table things that you're uncomfortable with, and you together with someone else can do this program. Here's the proof. When I first started, 2 years ago, doing what I'm talking about right now, I said, you know what? I don't like dealing with inventory. I don't like looking at spreadsheets. That's not me. I like, doing images, and I like writing copy, and I like kind of the front end part. And so I said, I'm not going to be able to do this because I just don't enjoy the inventory side. And it's not that you're dealing with inventory, it's just that you have to make sure there's inventory there and some boring stuff. So I reached out, and I found this guy. I never knew him before. I just did a little networking, and I found this guy who did nothing but he dealt with inventory all the time. He loved to do spreadsheets, and I said, man, you're my guy. We partnered up, and I have done deal after deal with him. Now, he's not my only partner. I have other partners, but what I'm saying is that you can do this program, even if there are parts of it that you don't feel that you're going to be good at, by just teaming up with another person, and then you together go out and you can land client after client after client. Now, if you have internet marketing or social media skills, hey, you don't need the skills, but you can augment your advantage at Amazon because you'll already be familiar with keyword research and maybe copywriting and graphics and things of that nature. So you will have a little bit of advantage because of that. If you've done anything on Amazon like FBA or white labeling or drop shipping, that too will help you. It'll help you go faster. So I'm not saying I've had people in all categories do really, really well. I'm really just saying it doesn't matter where you're coming from. If you go through this program, it can work for you. Now, $1,197 is what I charge for this program. As compared to other programs out there, this is a giveaway. But, Harlan and I are working together, and I said, I'm going to give everybody a special $697. I have not offered it any less than this ever, and it includes some things that are pretty special. If you're interested, the URL is right there, but hold on just a second. Let me show you what you're going to actually get. You get instant access to over 16 professionally recorded training sessions. In other words, this isn't something that I'm just going to whip up and kind of figure out what to tell you as you go along. This is ready to go right now, all right? These, in fact, I've refined these programs, and they're really, really done well so that you can learn fast and get moving. It's over 14 hours of step-by-step training, every single thing that you need to know. There are over 300 downloadable slides, and you'll get exclusive access to the 3D product launch timeline. I showed you that a little bit earlier. And you'll get the $5,000 all-in-one page where I'll teach you how to do an Amazon product launch as soon as you get your first client. And I'm going to show you over 12 case studies. I do this in video format. And here's why I do it. The variety of clients that you can work with is just amazing. And I'm going to tell you briefly about one that I'm very proud of. And just think, you could do this. I had a local school. They're preschool through 6th grade. They heard I knew a little bit about internet marketing, and they're local. They called me up and they said, "Hey, Dan, would you mind helping us out?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, sure, yeah, you're a school, and I'll help you." And I said, "What are you trying to do?" And they said, "Well, we borrowed some money from the city, and we've got to pay these bonds off, and we want to pay them off faster, and so we want to have a fundraiser." And I'm scratching my head. I'm thinking, gosh, I don't know a darn thing about fundraisers. The last time I had anything to do with a fundraiser, I was out selling donuts on the corner of a street. And I'm thinking, that's not good advice. So I didn't know what to tell them. And so desperate, I said, maybe, have you ever thought about maybe we could put a product up on Amazon and you could like have a perpetual fundraiser that would go, all year round? And I actually thought that they were just going to just shut me down. But instead, you know what? They said, that's a great idea, and we have some private money. We could put this into a product on Amazon and sell it. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know if that's too hard.
I don't think so.
Okay. So anyway, this school ended up doing the program, and they talked to their teachers, and they talked to the students, the parents, and they came up with a product. I made a few phone calls. We sourced the product. The school paid for it. We put it up on Amazon. I created a label that kind of looked like the kids had made it. And guess what? The entire school got behind it. They ordered the product that helped to increase its rank, and lo and behold, I'm helping a local school, and at the same time, I make 25% of this deal. Okay, so you can do that. That's a case study, but I show you case study after case study in this video case study session that I do in the program. There are some tools that you're going to be pretty simple to set up. Your client pay for most of the tools, but I talk about that. Know which tools are important. Also, built-in bonuses that I have. We talked about some of these. The trouble-based client call scripts, kind of the cheat sheet thing. That's included as a bonus after day 31. The working agreement, we already talked about that. That too is available for you on day 31. I also have a database of all of the top Amazon reviewers. What I'll have my client do is they'll take a few of their products, sometimes 50 or 100 products, and we will give them to some of the top reviewers at Amazon. Amazon allows that. That is a policy they have. They allow you to give a product to reviewers. And so we do that, and many of them will write great reviews, and that helps ranking and conversion. Also, what I have is own and run one of the premier Amazon tool sites online. And this is a place, it's kind of like a Sam's Club. Every single tool that you could possibly want, all of the good tools are there. But I went out and negotiated great deals from all of the tool builders so that you could have the tools at a lower cost, or I should say, so the client can have the tools at a lower cost. So all of that's included, plus this, and this is the most valuable of everything. We have Amazon group, it's called the Amazo Incubator, which when you join this, you'll be able to ask questions no matter what level that you're at in the program. You can even go in and say, hey, I'm looking for a partner, and team up with someone else and go with this in partnership relation. So that's available as well. So when Richard Branson says, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity and you're not sure if you can do it, say yes. Well, heck, say yes and then learn how to do it later. The later is Amazo partnering. It's me working with you. It's me, and you in the Facebook group. That's what it's all about. And then if you want to know what you're going to be doing on a day-by-day basis, you can do this very part-time. You can do this full-time. You could do this along with, if you're already doing Amazon, you can do it along with Amazon. This will possibly make you more money faster. But basically, what your job is this. You're basically going to be looking for people that you can help. And the more people that you help, the more money that you're going to make. And there you have it, exactly what Zig Ziglar suggested. Now, the AmazoWorks tool membership that I have comes included. I normally charge $25 a month for this. So this itself is worth over $600. Just 2 years access to this. That's $600 that I have thousands of Amazon sellers that are paying that in order to get access to this tool membership site. But you get it for free. So it's like a Sam's Club. All of the tools are there. And, it includes all this stuff. I don't have time to go through it all, but all of the stuff that you see on the screen right here, it's literally everything that you need to do well in this business. The top reviewers database, Merchant Words, which is a keyword tool that helps you find the best keywords to put in your title and your bullet points, a 200-page book with all of the zero-cost Amazon tools that you may need, a whole bunch of great tools, including the one that I showed you earlier in the slides that tells you the revenue that's coming in on all of the Amazon products. That's available as well at a significant discount as a part of this program, and a bunch of other tools. They're all in here. The membership site looks like this, and when you get in there, you want to make a beeline to what I have circled here in green, Amazo Partnering. That takes you to the training program. But also, as you need tools, those are going to be either under Amazo Featured Tools or Amazo Top Pick Tools. And we've got a whole bunch of stuff for you in the basic level. You're also going to get the prime level, as I said before, and then also all of the trainings included. The training looks like this. I have it broken into sessions that you can pace yourself through. All of the slides are coordinated, all of the documents necessary to understand how to do this. And again, I think what it is about Amazon is this. It's not hard. In fact, it's pretty simple, but there are a lot of steps. And it's because of that we have the opportunity we have. Because these clients that you'll be able to help, they stumble over, after they get to step 3, they're going to step 4 and step 5, they start stumbling and they give up, and that's really where we come in. If you can just follow step-by-step instructions, you can do extraordinarily well as an Amazon consultant. So $697, and this is the last slide. What will you choose? You have a choice. You can either do this, and if there's anything that scares you, you can partner up, or you can give up. I mean, that's really the choices here. We all know there's money in Amazon. I've just revealed how you can do it with no risk and no money, so it's up to you to make that decision. So we're going to open it up to questions. The URL is ez.ht/Amazo Now. That's AMAZONOW, Amazo Now. So ez.ht, not .com, it's ez.ht/Amazo Now. So let's open it up, Harlan.
Okay, People are complaining about feedback, so there are some questions. Let's see how we do. Is this program standalone, or do we need other Amazon training to be successful at this partnering angle?
Great question. You need no other training other than this.
Okay. Gregory wants to know, are there any guarantees?
Yes, there are. There's a 30-day guarantee. You can go in there, go through the training, everything I have, and no questions asked. If it's not for you, then you have 100% of your money back.
Is this Amazon Ninja? I paid almost double for it in August.
No, Amazon Ninja has some extra tools and master classes in it. So it's a higher level program, but everything that's in what you're looking at right now is also included in that.
Do you have a search tool? This has come up a number of times. Naomi wants to know, is there a search tool to find low-performing products? And other people are wanting to know, how do you find those low-performing products?
Oh, there are tools that are in development, but it's so easy that you hardly need it. I'll tell you how you do it. Go to Amazon and do a search for something that you're interested in. Let's say you were interested in knitting. So you type in the word knitting, you do a search, then you go to like page 5 or 6. In other words, people who are not ranking very well, they're on like page 5 or 6 or deep, maybe they're on page 100. Those particular sellers need help. It's obvious that they're not on page 1. So therefore, you can go through the products, and I give you a set of criteria so that you'll know what type of product to look for, what kind of client, and things of that nature. Really, you hardly need a tool. Go to Amazon, search, and look for people that are not listed very high in the rankings.
Okay. Adam says in the beginning of the webinar you showed numbers of what products we're selling monthly. Is that a tool included in the program?
It's not included in the program, but because it's not my tool, someone else makes that, but I do have it discounted, so you'll be able to get it. It costs $70 one time.
Okay. How many product owners are open to this, or should I say receptive to someone approaching them about this? What would you say is
it's interesting. If you can get a person to just listen to you for a few minutes, they are interested because everyone does want to sell on Amazon and very few know how. It's like 100% of sellers that are not doing well on Amazon are interested in how to improve that. So it's just a matter of you getting their ear. I usually do it with an email first, and there are some email templates in the training program, and you can just find sellers that you feel meet the criteria, if you aren't doing well. Shoot them an email, tell them what you do, and then get on the phone and just talk to them. Many of the students, including myself, we found that there's nothing for them to lose. So therefore, it's pretty darn easy when they find out that you're willing to jump in. You're only going to do it with one product, and you're not going to charge them anything up front, and you're going to take a fair percentage if you can make it work. It's hard to say no to that.
Okay. People are complaining about the feedback. I'm going to mute myself. Dan, do you mind going and getting the questions yourself?
Oh, that'd be fine. Let's see if that fixes it. Okay. Oh, that is it. Okay. All right. So there's no more mute. And let me take a look at the questions. Okay. Someone's saying, is this a new program? I'd like to know because I want to make sure it's not saturated. This program is very new. And we are talking hundreds of people that have gone through it, not thousands, okay? And I really don't know how much longer I'm going to do it. But even if, I continued, it's like, do you remember that early slide that I showed you? And I can't remember exactly. Let me see if I can find it. And it's just really interesting. Right at the very beginning, I talked about Amazon and how many products there are up there. Here it is. Where is it? Okay, here we go. This right here. I want you to look at these numbers again. Right here, there are 2 billion items worldwide on Amazon. I want to ask you, how many consultants do you think I would have to train in order to saturate a market of 2 billion items. When in reality, a good consultant, even myself, okay, I don't yet have more. I have, about 21, 22 products, so that's it. And that brings in well over 400,000 a month. All right. So the question is that if I can only handle 21, how are we ever going to get this saturated when we're talking about 2 billion items? So that question really is a moot point. Okay, so let me look at the next one. Okay, okay, no, that has to do with the thing. Do the tools work on a Macintosh? Oh, yes, absolutely. They're all browser-based tools. I'm a Mac user myself, so do that. And by the way, there aren't that many tools. There's just a couple of tools that you as a consultant will need. One of them is free, and the other, I already mentioned, costs $70 one time, and you're done. All of the other tools are paid for by your client. So this is a very low-cost program. You learn how to do it. Of course, you're going to pay for the training, and then after that, there's one tool, $70, and the rest of it is gravy. There's nothing else to spend money on. That's it. You don't need other trainings. What if you are new to Amazon? How do you succeed at this? Well, actually, all of the training and information that you're going to need is available from two places. And it will be from my trainings and from Amazon itself. Okay, the basic stuff like how you put a product up and all of that, I mean, Amazon's got incredible training over there. So I'll show you where to go so that you can learn these little basics. But let's talk about, what kind of stuff we're talking about. I've already told you this, but I need to repeat it. Could you write a better title than the one that I showed you, for example, on that sponge? Could you perhaps write better bullet points, okay, than the one that I showed you on that sponge? That's the kind of talent that we're talking about, all right? Here's that sponge again. Could you do better than that? If you feel that you could take a better picture or hire a professional photographer, write a better title, or find a copywriter and hire them, and guess who's going to pay for all of this? Not you. It's going to be your client. If you can do that, then you can be successful. Think of yourself as having a puzzle in front of yourself that's got maybe 5 or 6 pieces, and your job is just to put the pieces together so that you've got a good, clear picture. That's what you are as a consultant. You're saying, okay, client, your picture needs help. What do you say we hire a great photographer, let's send them some samples of the product and have them take 5, 6, 7, or 8 really great pictures, and I'll put them up on Amazon. And your client will go, you know what, that's a great idea. Now, don't ask me why they never thought of it, but many don't. And all you're doing is just putting the puzzle pieces together. Then you look at their title and you say, hey, that title's not too good. I think I could do better. And if you're not good at it, hire somebody that is, and they will pay for it. So the skills we're talking about are not high-level skills, and I will show you all the things that you need to know in order to do this. Okay, let me look at the next question. Okay, now, again, I apologize that you probably couldn't hear me on some things, so if there's anything that you want me to repeat, just ask me, I'll go through it. The sales page asks for a discount code. No, you don't need the discount code. Just go ahead and click the button and you'll be fine. You'll go straight on through, all right? Okay, got a lot of bad feedback here. Okay, let me get back up. I'm going to put the URL back up so that you know where to go. Here we are. Okay, ez.ht/amazo now. Okay, now if you have questions, please ask them, okay? Okay, someone said that they signed up and they did not get Prime access. If you did not get Prime access, just drop us a note on the help desk. There's a little tab right there, and we'll make sure that happens. But double check because that's not been a problem we've had. But if that is the case, then we'll certainly correct that. All right. Next, by the way, you're not going to be encouraged to upgrade. There's not any what do they call it, upsells or anything like that. It's $697. That's it. You go in. You're going to have everything that you need. other than you might want to get that one tool that shows you the revenue on Amazon, and I wish I could give it to you, but that's somebody else's tool. I just went out and twisted their arm, and I'm getting them to provide it for a lot less. $70 one time, that's it. Okay? Next, how do you establish credibility if you've never launched anything on Amazon? I actually cover that in the training sessions. And I don't have time to go through it all, but I will tell you this. By the time you get through my program and any other training at Amazon, you will be an expert. You absolutely will be, because you don't need to be an expert in the sense that you're probably thinking. You need to be able to do the things that I've already shared several times. You need to be able to tell the client, your picture needs help. Let's get a good photographer. Your title's not very good. Let me see if I can get one written better. That's an expert, all right? And then when you need to do your ranking, I'm going to show you the formula, and that's kind of like, hey, we need to send an email out. That's the kind of expertise that you have to have. So you don't have to have, some credentials or, some PhD. You just need to know enough to get them to the next step, and you're going to be given a lot of materials. And if there's any time that you need help, you've got many ways to get the help. In the Facebook group, you can go in there and ask questions, or you can go in there and team up with somebody. If you've got a big account and you think you need help closing it, call me up, okay? I can help as well. Okay, now I can't help on every account, but if there's a big account, okay, I don't want anybody not to succeed at this program. Okay, if Amazon's ranking formulas change, will you update the course? Well, first of all, yes, I do update the course, but Amazon is a search engine that's based on certain facts. The more products that sell of a particular product, the higher they rank it. There's not many other ways. This is not like Google, where they've got all of these variables that they can throw into an algorithm. At Amazon, the products that sell the most rank the highest. So basically, that's the formula that I will show you. I don't see that ever happening, but nonetheless, yes, I am on the cutting edge of this, and I'm going to figure it out and teach everyone, because I have to learn how to do it. I make 90% of my earnings, my livelihood, comes not from doing training courses. It comes from helping clients on Amazon. That's what I focus on. Okay. How does the client pay for the improvements? Well, credit card, cash, whatever. If they need a photographer, I will point them in the right direction, and I'll say, hey, here's a photographer. He'll do it for $300. All you got to do is, go here, pay him, and he'll get going. You're putting the pieces together. You're not paying money. You're not getting reimbursed. It's none of that stuff. You're helping your client just to navigate the things they need to do in order to be successful on Amazon. Okay, Dan, what if a prospect asks you for references? Well, tell them that you're working with one of the top consultants in the industry, Dan Hollings. I'll provide a reference. You can also point to the team of people that you're working with within the Facebook group, which will give you hundreds, if not thousands, of people. That's what it is. But I do give you this very specific ways to handle this in the course so that you'll know how to do it. Everything. Listen, you're not the first person to go through this course, and I have rebuilt it a few times. It's really perfected. Everything you need to know is there. And, I'll answer your questions, but a lot is already there. Okay. Any videos ever used? On Amazon, they will not let you put a video up next to the product if you're the product seller, but they will let your customers write reviews and post video reviews. So there are ways to get videos up, but it has to be through the review process. Okay, any other questions? Okay. You may have answered this. Okay, what is the one tool that you need to get? Okay, that's available inside of AmazoWorks. So as soon as you sign up, you'll be able to go into AmazoWorks and grab that tool. That gives you all of the estimated revenues. It's pretty accurate as well of the various products in Amazon on a monthly basis. Okay, do you need liability insurance if the client sues you? Well, there is an agreement. There is an indemnification clause in there. So I'm not an attorney and I'm not an insurance salesperson, I have a corporation. If this starts working for you, I'd recommend that you just set up a corporation, and that'll probably do it. But you'll need to consult with your own attorney about that. But you know what? What happens when things go bad? Usually not much of anything. I mean, it's like, listen, not every single product that I've done has always been a stellar home run. But when you put a product up on Amazon, all of them will sell, and all of them you can improve. And it's like, so what? If you have a client and they're selling 2 products a day, that still adds up, and it's probably more products than they're selling in any other channel. And so what? You didn't invest any money in it, and that you could consider that a flop. But I have a lot of products that you know, I call them just, you know, middle of the road, average, you know, products. They're not home runs, you know, and they're bringing in good, solid, steady revenue. So that's that. Anything else? Please ask questions. Okay. Okay. What if you do not have good internet skills? You don't need good internet skills. Have I said one thing about building a website? Have I said one thing about doing Google SEO? Have I said one thing about doing Facebook? Have I said no? Amazon is its own ecosystem. You just merely need to know how to get a product up there, how to do a product launch, and that's it. It's like Amazon already has the customers, so we don't have to worry, you know, about that. They already have the trust. They already have that. Setting the page up is filling out a form and clicking a few buttons, okay? Uploading a picture, you know, that kind of a thing. So internet skills are totally optional. If you have them, you can augment what you're doing, but definitely not necessary. On most clients that I work with, I don't do anything outside of Amazon. It's just Amazon. That's all that's needed. When you've got 50 million prime customers just sitting there waiting, you know, to bite whenever you dangle a product, I mean, you don't need all of that other stuff. That's one of the main reasons I decided to drop everything I'm doing and do only Amazon. I got tired of building websites and making sure it was mobile and customer support and all that kind of stuff. Just crazy. Okay, have you had many clients that were not happy with the results and requested termination? Not one. I've never had a client that requested termination. I'll correct myself a little bit. I have had them that were, you know, not happy with the results because, you know, you can't make every product work. I will tell you that. But every product, I should say it this way, you can't make every product a home run. You can improve every product. And so if you have a client that's selling 1 a month and you work with them and you only get it up to 1 a day, you know, they might not be happy with you, but still, guess what? You improved their sales 1,000-fold because they were selling 1 a month and now they're selling 1 a day. So whatever, you just keep on going down the road. How long will this deal be available? Only a few days at this price. Okay, we'll shut it down, let's say Monday. Okay, it'll go back to its regular price. $1,197 is the regular price. A lot of people have paid that. So we'll leave it open until Monday. How much time do you spend on an average client per week? A lot in the first month. It's kind of moderate in the second month for reasons that you'll see when you get into the course. And then the third month, again, you'll focus on it a lot. So there's like, out of the first 3 months, you're going to spend 2 months, a lot of time. And I say a lot, I mean, it's still very much part-time. But you really have to focus on one product and doing certain steps. Then after that, hardly anything. After that, then you can move on to another client or to another product. And because the product will have gained its rank, and once it gains rank, they have a tendency to stay there. Because Amazon starts providing their customers at that point, and it's kind of a self-perpetuating money machine is what it is. Okay, we're going to wrap it up real soon, so any other questions? Please explain what happens between both you and your client when a product isn't a home run. Nothing happens. I just talked to him and I'm saying, look, you know, it didn't work because I think, you know, maybe it was this reason or maybe it's that reason. We try ideas, we brainstorm things, and we try to make it better. And it's like, folks, not everything in life works out perfectly. The great thing about this strategy on Amazon is you get to try again, and you get to try again, all right? If you're doing any other approach on Amazon, you invest a ton of money in your own product, you try one time, and if it doesn't work, you are toast. It's over with, all right? And your spouse is ready for divorce and everything else. I mean, that's that program. With this one, you try, you can always improve the scenario, and if it's not a home run, then you just say, well, let's try another product. Okay, they don't hate you for it, because the way I do this, and you'll see it in the training, is you just engage, you work with them, and you don't make grand promises, all right? You say, look, I'm going to work to help get your product on page 1, and we know that the people on page 1 right now are earning about this much. I've got a tool that shows me that. I think that we've got to do X, Y, and Z in order to get to page 1. Are you, Mr. Client, willing to do that? And if you are, then okay, let's give it a shot and try. And when you try, it will always move up. The question merely is, can you get it on page 1? The only thing that can keep you from doing it is if you happen to have a product that is extremely competitive and you just don't have enough flexibility or enough, what should I say, rocket fuel in order to get it there. But you can be on page 2 and be making a lot of money. You can be on page 3 and be making a lot of money. And there's lots of first pages. Every time a person types in a keyword at Amazon, they pull up a page. So when people search for kitchen sponge, there are 16 products. When people search for household sponge, there's another 16 products. When they search for just sponge, there's another 16 products. So you can get your client's product up on the first page of many of these keywords. So there's lots of ways to do this. Okay. Here we go. We'll take 3 more questions, then I'm going to have to run. Okay, what is the... wait, no, not going to see. Okay, after the product is well established, do you often do fine-tuning? Yeah, I do. What I do is I pop in at least once a month, take a look at things, see if there's any keywords maybe I overlooked, maybe reword something a little bit. It's just like having a car. You take it in, tune it up every once in a while so it'll run better. Maybe try some different images from time to time. You get better at it and you kind of refine what you do. You also brainstorm with your client. Remember, your client wants to sell the product as much as you. Your client knows the niche they're in probably better than you. And so just by talking to them, you get information, and then you just assimilate it and see if you can somehow apply that to Amazon. You also will be able to get your client to drive a lot of traffic there. They'll soon change the buttons on their website to point to Amazon and all kinds of things. You just have to kind of guide them through all of that. Okay. Can we still do a good job at this without copywriting experience? Yes. If you're willing to spend $5, you can go to Fiverr and you'll find all kinds of people that can do copywriting. And this is not the kind of copywriting that takes a high level of skill. We're talking about just writing a product title. You just have to make sure you've got the basic keywords in there and it's very clear what the product is. It's not like you're trying to think up special words to close people or anything like that. You got to do 5 bullet points. Again, these are the features and benefits of the product, and peppering in some keywords that you'll get from keyword tools that are available for free inside your member site area. So it's copywriting in the sense that you got to at least write a nice bullet point, but it really has more to do with features and benefits, of which you're going to get all of this information from your client. But if you want somebody to do it for you, sure, you can hire somebody, and you can even have your client pay for it. And how do you get them to pay for it? You just say, hey, look, in order for us to have the best copy and beat out our competition, I've got a guy or a gal, she's great, charges $100, and she's going to come in there and just really refine this, make sure we got all of our keywords in there. So we're going to do that. We're also going to have the pictures done really well. It's going to be $200 for the photographer, so about $300 for that. Okay, and if they say no, then you know you've got a client that doesn't really want to win. You know you've got a client that doesn't want to be on the first page. How many clients out there are like that? I don't know any. All of these people who have these products are spending money left and right to try to sell them. All you're doing is telling them to spend it smart. Let's spend $100 on a copywriter. Let's spend $200 on a photographer. I mean, one time, you game? They will all say yes unless they're fools. And so this is a pretty easy thing to convince people to do. Okay, Stop counting. Oh, I love this question. So you don't need Harlan in order to write copy. That is absolutely correct. Oh, that's funny. Okay, and then finally, how do you approach your first client? This is a great question for the last question. I recommend that in the beginning you find a client that is a very easy client. Maybe a ma and pa, they've got a product that they make. You may even find one in your local community. Somebody that's got a product that they're selling locally, they've never even thought about putting it on Amazon. You approach them, and in their mind, they're thinking, gosh, you know, we never even thought about selling it on Amazon, so it's like, why not? You know, so they're a real easy client. They don't have big expectations. They say, sure, go ahead, put it on Amazon. We're game. We'll do whatever it takes. You know, that's an easy client, and they're not going to expect you to turn them into millionaires overnight or anything like that. If you get a client like that, what's good is that it's low pressure, it's easy to get the client, and you go through the whole process one time with an easy client. And then Katie bar the door, because you've done it one time. When you turn around and seek that second client, you can find one that's got the perfect criteria, the perfect product, like I teach in my course, so that you can say, okay, on this one, we're gonna do it. We're gonna bring in $40,000 a month. I'm gonna get 25%, and boom, we're off to the races. And you'll know exactly what to do because you will have went through the program one time with what I call an easy client. So, folks, I wish I could spend more time. Please, 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 if you've ever thought about doing Amazon or ever thought about making money online, this is a real business. It's all I do. I love to teach. I love to help people. The course is robust. It's guaranteed for 30 days. If it doesn't work for you, fine. But what I really recommend is grab a copy of it, and if you think you can't do it after you get halfway through it, don't give up. Partner up. Go into the Facebook group and say, hey guys, look, I'm good at X, Y, and Z. Is there anybody here that's good in A, B, and C? Let's team up and do it together. That means that literally for $697, you can change your life financially. I kid you not. I have people doing it. I'm doing it. All right, easy.ht/Amazo now. That's AMAZO.
Hey, before we go, anybody who signs up tonight or on the replay, I will personally look over your copy for Amazon, because not only can my granddaughter, who's 2 years old, write better copy than the original sponge copy, I think I could do a pretty good job too. So
there you go, folks. That's worth 600.
Anybody who joins, I'm happy to look over your Amazon copy and make some suggestions for you. But you've got to take advantage of it and get in there tonight. Okay? And then you guys know where to find me. I'm not going anywhere. I will be happy to help you with your copy on Amazon. And there you go.
So thanks so much, Harlan.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Did you guys learn something tonight? Got a lot of yeses. All right, guys. For all you guys who I hope you learned. A lot of people saying yes, signed up, whatever. Sign up, take action. This will work if you work it. This will work. I have the highest respect for Dan, and that's why I'm working with him, because he's going to make me rich. So, guys, go make somebody rich and learn how to do it just like Dan. He offered it to me. It took like 30 seconds, like, huh? This is too good to be true. So I'm all over this. Paul, what was your question that you didn't get an answer to? This has nothing to do with the Amazon Associates program.
Correct.
Paul, type it in because we're going to go right after it. How does this differ from Dan's AMZOX program?
Oh, okay. All right. Amazo X was a little teaser program about an hour long that just got people kind of interested in the concept, but ultimately they would have needed to get the same program we're talking about tonight.
Okay. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dan. And go through the program and ask me for help with your copy. Thanks, everybody. For those of you who joined late, there will be a replay as long as GoToWebinar saves it for us. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night.